among our community as well as inside the society. I'll just talk about the past initiative with the cooperation, help, motivation of our director, Professor Ajit Kumar Chaturvedi, and our deputy director, Professor Manoranjan Parida, and our former NSS faculty advisor, Professor Pranita Sarangi. They have started their road safety week in the year 2020, and the duration was January 11 to January 17. And if you could see that time, the pandemic was not that severe. So therefore, students, all the volunteers of our NSS team, they have executed tremendous effort. And you could see some of this glimpse of our events like street play and walkathon, and some of the visit to our nearest school where we have campaign for the awareness regarding this important cause of our society. And most importantly, this year, with help of our permission of director, the place of the road safety has been rebuilt through NSSI Roorkee. And moving ahead, again, as you know, this our country has moved from the National Road Awareness Week to National Road Safety Month. So therefore, NSSI Roorkee has started its Road Safety Month in the year 2021 during the period of January 18th to February 17th. So during this period, our pandemic situation, this trying situation has been, arrived to us, and the situation was difficult. But even then, our team has put its best effort, and these are some of the events I have just kept in front of you, like school events, case studies, quizzes, interactive session with our different NGOs and organizations who are coming forward to address this particular issue. And if you see this upcoming events, it is much better. We are moving again. We are not staying back. Still, our day and night, our NSS team, I have seen them working hard. And I'm sure certainly this initiative will be our speed breaker for this particular issue. Just like if you see, we are starting with webinars. I think our team has already circulated all the details of throughout this month. What are the webinar series, workshop, case studies, and policy case debates and quizzes. So this is the most important part of this particular session of 2022 is, fortunately, we have received consent from different eminent speakers nationally and internationally, and they're agreed to deliver the lecture or keynote speech regarding this issue. And fortunately, today we're so happy to say you that we are with Dr. S. Gangopadhyay, who's one of the leading personality in this front. So, here we'll try to extract the ideas, knowledge, how we can transfer this technology to the betterment of the society. We'll learn and how we can change, how we can make vibrant our, future mind or your bright mind. It will do little change, and that will bring a smile in others' face. So thank you so much for giving me this privilege to say something regarding the initiative by NSS team. And of course, I request, to all of you, NSS is always open to send your comments, valuable comments, or any suggestions. NSS is always open. So thank you so much for patiently hearing to me. Thank you. Over to Aditi.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your address. Now, I invite Mr. Anurag Saxena, Joint Secretary, NSS IIT Roorkee, to lead us through the pledge on the occasion, which was released by the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, to make our roads safer, to save lives, and build a peaceful community for all.
Thank you, Aditi. I request everyone to unmute yourself and repeat the pledge after me. Today, we pledge to
Today we place to
Today we place to
Always wear a helmet while riding a two-wheeler.
Always
always
wear
wear
helmet while driving the two-wheeler.
Never drink and drive.
Never
never drink and drive.
Always wear a seat belt while driving a car.
always
Always wear a seatbelt while driving a car.
driving the car.
are
Never text or talk on the phone while driving.
never
Never
text
stop
On
on
the
the
phone
phone
while driving.
Always obey traffic rules.
always
Follow
obey
the
obey
traffic
traffic
rules.
rules.
Act as a good Samaritan and help road accident victims.
Act
As a good Samaritan
in
and
and
help
help
road
road
accident
victims.
victims.
Thank you so much, sir. So I would now like to invite our chief guest for the evening, Professor Ajit Kumar Chaturvedi, Director IIT Roorkee. We are very much focused. Sorry. Professor Chaturvedi supported us in this entire initiative from starting till now. So, in IIT Roorkee, we are very much focused on road safety in our campus, and this is only possible just because of our director, Professor Chaturvedi. So, with that, we invite him to address our audience. Over to you, Professor Chaturvedi.
Thank you, Aditi. Dr. Subhamay Gangopadhyay, my colleague Professor Manoranjan Parida, Professor Mukesh Barua, Professor Prevlata Jena, Professor Pushpa Chaudhary, all my colleagues, students, all those who are attending this session today. Today is a time to reflect on our NSS initiative, which has grown in the last 2 decades quite substantially. NSS represents the desire of our students and the institute to connect to social problems, connect to issues facing the society, and thereby not only develop a more responsible citizenry in the minds of our students, more compassion towards our fellow citizens, but to be also be in a position to use their privileged position to contribute to society. When I say a privileged position, I'm referring to the fact that India is a country full of very talented students, very talented youth, young people, but very few of them get the privilege of getting admission in an IIT and getting the kind of facilities or education that a student gets in an IIT. So given this privileged position, it is more important that we realize our responsibility. We live in a developing country. The country aspires to give the best education to everyone, but naturally it is not possible given the limited resources. So whoever is in a position, whoever is ahead in the queue, I think those people have a big responsibility to ensure that we give back to the society in whatever manner possible. And I must compliment the entire Dean of Student Welfare team, faculty advisor, Professor Jena, and her predecessors, Professor Achata Gulati, before that, Professor Sarangi, that they have played a very important role in ensuring that the commitment and involvement of students get the direction that it needs. Over a period of time, I have observed that there are probably 3 main verticals within which our NSS team operates. One vertical is, of course, which has been very severely affected because of the pandemic. That was the blood donation drive. It used to be a very unique IIT Roorkee initiative, which showed that how much committed we are to our society and connected to our society. Because I easily recall that we were able to collect more than 1,000 blood donation blood units, to be able to contribute it to the state of Uttarakhand. And it happened over several years. But unfortunately, because of the pandemic, there is a break on that. Although it did happen last year, but probably not at the scale at which we deserve to have it. Second is, of course, this road awareness, road safety awareness week and month that we celebrate at IIT Roorkee. And this is largely as an awareness campaign. It is centered around events, it is centered around webinars, case studies, walkathon, those kinds of events which will bring our attention to this very pressing figure, 150,000 deaths per year. I mean, this is truly something that, it disturbs you. It completely sort of, you fail to understand that why we are not able to control the deaths. This is such a high number. And the fact that we have a very large percentage of international fatalities which are happening in India, that percentage is also something that that we cannot be proud of. In fact, as an institute of technology, I feel that now it is our bigger role to play in this direction, because after all, a lot of these deaths are related to automobiles, related to the use of modern technology, related to the construction of highways and roads. So everything is related to engineering, technology. So why can't we reduce this number? I mean, this number has to come down. We must take upon ourselves a very committed fashion, a focused endeavor that we can work in this direction. Awareness is, of course, something that is very crucial, important. But if we do awareness only a limited domain, the impact will be less. Can we spread the wings of our awareness campaign to Roorkee town? Can we spread the wings of our awareness to schools around Roorkee? What can we do so that, after it's a month-long event, during this month-long event, I think there is an opportunity to create a bigger impact than what we can do within the confines of IIT Roorkee. Another thing that we probably need to introduce, and I'm not sure we are doing it, that is, we must start measuring the impact of every event. For example, today's session is there. We must record somewhere how many people attended the session. And can we give a brief survey of the students who attended the session, whether they got what they were expecting to get from this inauguration session, whether they are more enlightened about the issue of road safety after attending today's session or not. And I think if we connect with them, we probably might be able to design more customized, more thoughtful programs in the future, which will draw a larger audience, which will make sure that the effort that the entire team faculty advisor puts in to stitch this program, that effort is more rewarding. Similarly, when you do, whether it's a Nukkad Natak, whether it's a case study, whether it is a walkathon, ideathon, hackathon, I think we must start measuring, and I must especially appeal to Professor Barua in this regard, that all our student initiatives, we must introduce a special vertical on metrics. What is the impact of this? If we make a beginning, I'm sure over the years we'll mature in this direction. That I know it's a difficult task. Measuring the impact is not easy. It is not quantifiable. It is very subjective. People may not be participative in the survey. But let us make a beginning. If you make a beginning, you never know 5 years down the line where you are. So let us do that in all our events. Specifically with respect to today's topic, that is road safety. I think I mentioned this last year also. I would like to repeat it. That can we draw the attention of our students towards beyond awareness, finding solutions, doing projects, which those projects, they can be from management stream, they can be from humanities stream, they can be from the civil engineering department, they can be from the transportation engineering group, C-Trans. Can we make a target that every year top 5 projects done in this area will be announced, will be rewarded? Okay, which top 5 projects IIT Roorkee did in the area of road safety this year? Whether it's a BTech project, whether it's an MTech thesis, whether it's an MBA project, whether it is a PhD thesis, whether it is in humanities, wherever it is. I think we can do this very easily. Top 5 projects, which are those? I think if we announce this in advance, and then today's event, this inauguration event, should be the platform where we announce the winners of the last year. Winners mean who are the top 5. Because I believe that more attention is required towards defining problems of social relevance. and which problem can be more socially relevant than this problem. So why not put this problem in the minds of our students? They go around looking for interesting problems, examining literature, which is a good problem to work on. Well, here is a problem. Why don't you take up some aspect of this problem and do a thesis on it, do a project on it? So that is one thing. Regarding the more sort of technical aspects of these things, I was thinking that maybe a good fraction of these deaths, fatalities that are happening in terms of on the road, many of them may be happening with the events or with the designing and planning before the accident happens. After the accident, of course, there will be some trauma, there will be some destruction of asset, maybe some injury, and maybe in some unfortunate death. And so there can be a series of measures that has to be done in terms of a quick response, how to make sure that in case of an injury, the vehicle is designed in such a fashion so that the trauma is less, effect is less. But can we do something before that? For example, a simple device that IIT Roorkee did this year. In fact, we have 2 more roundabouts to make that. We introduce roundabouts at some places in the campus, which is a very effective way to reduce the speed. And if you are reducing the speed, naturally, the fatalities and the injuries will reduce. Similarly, can we think in terms of doing some studies on behavioral patterns, controlling behavioral patterns of drivers? And just when I was thinking about today's event, I was wondering, I'm not an expert in this domain, that how much study has been or how much effort has been given to understanding and molding the behavior of drivers. And their psychology will have a big role to play. It's not a problem of civil engineering alone. It's not a problem of planning. It's a problem related to psychology. And then how we can sort of join hands with psychology is that our technology is available to map the driving behavior of a driver. What I mean is that, okay, we can plot that what is the speed, what is the acceleration this driver is taking over his journey, his or her journey. That can be automatically recorded. What is the peak speed? All these things are there in the automobile. Now, if this log can make inferences from this log that, okay, this driver needs to be told about this thing. If I am as a driver, I am told about my weaknesses in driving, I think I will reflect more about it. The rash driving that we say or irresponsible driving that we say, it itself will have several components. So what are those components and where can we educate our drivers or tell the drivers, give them the feedback that this is the place where you need to improve. And that will be dependent on the log of their actual driving performance, that when they've actually driven through a session, through multiple sessions, natural driving. I mean, we can easily design simple machines which can be fitted in the cars, automobiles, scooters, which will just keep on track and recording these logs. And then every week or every day, those logs can be made available easily. Now, Wi-Fi and data devices are very easy. They can be easily uploaded on your mobile phone or on your computer. And then our experts, transportation experts, can tell us that what are the problems in the driving behavior of this driver. Well, we are not going to tell all this to the security agencies or safety agencies, but let us first tell the driver himself or herself. And maybe once we tell the driver, once we make the driver aware of the pitfalls of this kind of rash driving, irresponsible driving, maybe we are able to mold the behavior in the desired direction. I know that again, everything is not 100% foolproof, but that could be a step. Maybe 10%, 20%, 30% drivers, once they are told, they will be willing to modulate their driving patterns in the desired direction. So many more such things can be thought about. I'm sure that other speakers will have many more important things to say. These are the few thoughts that came to my mind, so I thought I'll share with you. I hope that our NSS team will carry forward this wonderful journey of last 2 decades in future years also. And we'll have more defined verticals which take care of this road safety month, so that all these multiple things that come to our mind, we can actually work on each one of them. Thank you for giving me this opportunity and look forward to hearing to the other speakers. Thank you.
We humbly thank you, Professor Chaturvedi, for your kind words of wisdom. So, as said by the Professor Chaturvedi, NSS IIT Roorkee is working on on-ground projects related to road safety. We are working on a road safety audit of a certain road stretch and research activities, comparing the global and local accidents and trying to find ways to solve the problems. And apart from this, we plan to attend international conference this year. And apart from these, many other activities are also lined up for this year. So now with this, I would now like to welcome Professor Manoranjan Parida, Deputy Director IIT Roorkee. Professor Parida initiated the road safety campaign in IIT Roorkee, and the whole road safety campaign was conceptualized by the NSS team under his guidance. He helped in various events like workshops, webinars, traffic sign, study, etc. So this campaign is possible only just because of him. So with this, I would like to invite him for his address.
Thank you, Aditi, for all the nice words. I'm very happy that NSS is celebrating this National Road Safety Month. We started with a week and now graduated to a month. And at the onset, I would like to extend a warm welcome to Dr. Gangopadhyay, who has been a close friend of IIT Roorkee. On a normal circumstance, you would have loved to visit Roorkee, but today it's not possible. Still, we are very happy that he is present online. As former director, Central Road Research Institute, we had a lot of collaborative activities. And I would also like to welcome Professor Chaturvedi, Professor Barua, Professor Gauri Sethi, Professor Premlata, Professor Pushpa, students, Aditi, Ujjwal, Anurag Saxena, and all attendees. So today, at least while Professor Chaturvedi highlighted a couple of things, I thought very quickly I'll try to respond. In fact, what is important is that to create a vertical within NSS. Initially, IIT Delhi approached us to be a partner with respect to road safety initiatives. Although we had a lot of faculty colleagues, so initially we partnered with them, but today we understand that we have a total independent unit which has the capability to observe this road safety month. We have a complete month-long activities where we have extensive engagement with experts all across the country and even people, those who are working at the global arena. So I'm sure like with a team of 1200, it is possible to spread the message of road safety in the campus and also in the public domain. But what is important, I agree with Professor Chaturvedi, like largely we have believed that road safety is a subject to be studied in civil engineering. But today it's very clear that it cannot be confined only within civil engineering. You require also a lot of inputs from electronics and communication, from data science, from control engineering. And with that, it's possible to address some of the issues like the second decade for road safety. UN has declared 2020 to 2030 as the second decade for road safety action plan. And the targets are that the total number of fatality and the total number of injuries are to be reduced to 50%, which is a great challenge. But I'm sure these efforts of NSS will go a long way. One, that we spread the message, and then many of us are professionals, so we can, as Professor Chaturvedi suggested, we can take up different projects. In fact, Professor Pushpa must be very happy, like what Professor Chaturvedi raked up some of the points in a doctoral thesis program. We are working on expressway road safety, where there are two components. One is studying the driver behavior, which is a human factor study. The other one is that we have planned naturalistic driving studies where we are going to engage some 60 professional drivers. And this is related to the expressway. We have taken Yamuna Expressway as the stretch. So these events, they set a mandate. They certainly set a target ahead of you, what to do. And in fact, some of our students, they are taking up part of the problem as part of their practical problem. So this kind of deliberations, I'm sure with 1200 students, we can do many projects. And maybe the NSS team can think very creatively, how do we create those projects so that the students work for entire 1 year. And at the end of 1 year, whenever we have the next road safety month, the awards are announced, they are competitive. So more and more students from different disciplines from different departments of the institute participate in that. And I'm sure it's possible to develop very creative and very innovative kind of solutions. And sometimes it's not going to be technology intensive. There could be very small solution, like traffic roundabout is one. Professor Chaturvedi made mention about the roundabouts. In fact, with respect to my professional engagement, I feel very happy about the roundabout. We have seen many roundabouts. It's known as the sleeping policeman. With very limited investment, it's possible to reduce the number of fatality, to change the pattern of accidents. So those things are possible. Simple measures, like if you are deploying proper kind of traffic signage, if you are going for good road markings, and if you use simple like retroreflective devices on the roads, they are going to be extremely useful. But at the same time, awareness is also equally important. Today we see, like, we have a safety office in IIT Roorkee. They have put very nice posters. So if you read each of the posters, like one says that what is the fact and what is the notion of the people, where is the difference. Like you have a small child on a two-wheeler, but the child will never wear a helmet. The parent, either of the parent is wearing the helmet. So the message says that it's very important for the child to wear the helmet. And while you are driving today, like texting or using mobile phone while you are driving is part of your living style. But then it's really very, very dangerous if you are mixing your driving with texting. So that creates a lot of distractions. So simple awareness also going to be very useful. And with that, I'm sure the month-long activity of NSS will be very useful to propagate the message of road safety. And I wish all of you great success, and really thank all the experts, those who have agreed to be part of this celebration or part of this National Road Safety Month, which is celebrated by NSS IIT Roorkee. So all the best, and I'm sure we try to look at the suggestions of Prof. Chaturvedi, how to evaluate, how to create a matrix, that how useful our programs are, because that will help to design our programs for the next year in a much better manner. We can understand where there is possibility of improvement. So I think if the NSS team thinks about it, it's possible to prepare those kind of evaluation metrics. And with that, I would like to extend my best wishes to entire NSS team. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Parida, for your address. Your valuable words are really inspiring for us and motivate the team to work in a much better way for this event. So moving on with the ceremony, I would now like to invite our guest of honor for today, Dr. Subhamay Gangopadhyay, the Programme Manager at IndiaRap. Dr. Gangopadhyay has nearly 4 decades of experience in road transport and safety. He served as scientist in the Central Road Research Institute, New Delhi, since 1979 and was its director between 2009 and 2015. So his main areas of specialization include traffic engineering, road safety, transportation planning and modeling, interaction of environment with urban transport, and skill development in the area of traffic and transportation. He has excellent experience working with government organizations, including the Ministry of Road Transport and Research and Educational Institutes. With that, we invite him to address our audience. Over to you, Dr. Gangopadhyay.
Well, thank you very much for this introduction, and very pleased to be back with the IIT Roorkee, team. It is IIT Roorkee is my very long time association we had with CRRI. I think it is continuing, and it will be always moment of happiness to be associated with any IITs, particularly so with IIT Roorkee. Well, good evening, everyone. Professor Chaturvedi, Director IIT Roorkee, Professor Parida, deans, many other professors and students, members of the NSS team, ladies and gentlemen. Now, at the outset, I feel very happy to have been invited by the NSS IIT Roorkee chapter for this opening ceremony of the National Road Safety Month 2022. Actually, it is very interesting to note that NSS team is celebrating the Road Safety Month rather than a Road Safety Week, which is usually the case that the organizations or the other members of the road safety stakeholders will be celebrating. Now, road crashes is a global problem. Road crashes is a global problem. Look at the COVID now. COVID is a global problem. Similarly, road crashes is also a global problem. If there is a road crash victim, let us consider the post-crash situation, not the pre-crash situation. There are definite data by World Health Organization that where are the major injuries, whether it is a head injury, whether it is back injury, whether it is in the leg injury, this data is available. Like COVID data, they said that Delta was something else. Omicron, the large, upper part of your lung is mostly affected. Number one. India is the topper for no good reason. It is for a bad reason that we are experiencing the highest number of road deaths all over the world. We cannot be proud of that. But for per capita, we are 9th or 10th. Because denominator is very, very large. We are having a very large population. So sometimes, we say that per capita, we are okay, we are 9th or 10th. Just to safeguard our own safety data that we are experiencing. And very tragic to know, 17 people are dying every hour in our country. 150,000 odd deaths take place, Professor Chaturvedi, and we all know that. But is it the real data? Are all the road crashes, fatalities being recorded, which are amounting to this 150,000 road crashes, road deaths due to road crashes? I am not too sure about it, because WHO says that it is about 3 lakhs. So there is a problem. There is a separate kind of domain. We are not going to talk about it today, but that can be, taken up at some other, discussion. Now, NSS IIT Roorkee is doing a great job. I looked at their, website. Definitely a wonderful work that they are doing, and I came to know about that under the guidance of Professor Parida and his team. They have taken up many, activities in and around IIT Roorkee, which can include, which otherwise, you can take up some of the engineering projects, which your director also said, some education, social campaigns in the community, like community participation in the vicinity of Roorkee town, helping the enforcement authorities, because a policeman is a policeman. The policeman may not be knowing what will be the traffic management. That way, they can be trained. You can help them voluntarily. And very important factor is the post-emergency situation of the crash victims. You can always train yourself that how to handle the crash victims, the trauma they have, they face, and how to take them, especially for that golden hour, taking into the emergency into any hospital. So these are some of the areas which, can be thought of. Now, roundabout is a very interesting situation. Your director and Professor Farida have also mentioned. I always feel that is the one of the safest, challenges, safest solutions, because that is a traffic calming. Roundabout is basically a part of the solution of traffic calming. And it has been found that there are examples where signals have been, discarded, and instead of signal, roundabout has been designed, and they have taken as the fruits of that particular design. Number one. We have also talked about the behavioral problem of the drivers. Really, I am basically an engineer, civil engineer. We studied transportation. I usually don't blame the drivers or the road users for their bad behavior. But to whom should I blame? I blame the engineers. Because of the bad design, the behavior changes. So you must take into those who are engineers here, please, don't take it in your heart as a personal thing, but you should design all the roads which are forgiving. It should be forgiving to the road users. People will commit mistakes. If there are no footpaths, no sidewalks, people will come to the main pavement, main carriageway, facing the hazard of the vehicular traffic. You cannot, say that, okay, look, these people are walking onto the roads, because there are no footpaths, there are no sidewalks. So definitely, as an engineer, it is our duty to customize how the facilities could be created for all types of road users, particularly for the pedestrians. In a city like Delhi, 50% of the deaths are occurring to the bicyclists and pedestrians. At one point of time, we are all pedestrians. Whether you are driving a Mercedes or whether driving any hi-fi car, at some point of time, you have to come onto the road and being a pedestrian. Now, then what is the solution? Yes, there are solutions. We are going through this COVID period for the last 2 years. So therefore, there are vaccines for road safety as well. It is not that vaccines for COVID, vaccines for polio. What happened to the polio? Polio has been eradicated from our country. So can it be not, possible with the road safety scenario that we are undergoing? What sorts of vaccines that we could provide to eradicate this social menace? Every Sunday morning, the mother will take the child, chalo, polio lena hai, polio ka drop. Why not for the road safety? We have taken the pledge upon our back. Let us, think about Sunday morning or any day, any time of the day, to give this kind of sensitization or awareness program that, okay, look, we can do it, and how best we could do it, it is possible. Because road crashes can be avoided. Nobody faces or nobody accidents will not come with any advance notice, because it is the something that somebody's fault at some point of time, whether it is a road engineering, whether it is road safety measures that was missing, or whether it was the drivers who was drunk and not driving recklessly, or whether due to potholes. We do not know how many deaths occur due to potholes in our country. Supreme Court is very much concerned about it. I don't have any data so far what are the victims, I mean, for the road fatalities, especially for the road crashes due to pavement surface characteristics or the potholes or the bad pavements. Nobody has got any data. Wherever you go there, everybody talks about it was the driver's fault. 80 to 90% are driver's fault, because the data from the police, office or the police station is faulty. So therefore, things, it is possible, vaccines are available. Only thing that it requires some sort of, coordinated approach. You must have seen, many of you, in fact, most of you must have seen the 12 pillars for which Target 3 and Target 4 of the United Nations road safety talks about the road safety, how you could mitigate and what will be the challenges that one could face and then come out with the solution. So therefore, it is possible. So with that, with this kind of background, I will take maybe another 5 to 7 minutes to talk about something for which I am working now with the International Road Assessment Program. How best we are doing it, what are the challenges that we are facing, and how best your NSS team could be, associated with us. IndiaRap is a part of offshoot of International Road Assessment Program, which is a charity, registered charity in London. It is a British-based road safety charitable, society. It's a company. Now, this IndiaRap actually is a locally led and it's a globally supported road assessment program for India. How it is done? It is a collaboration between International Road Assessment Program and the Asian Institute of Transport Development. Now, we get help from World Bank Global Road Safety Facility, national and state local governments, and the Bloomberg Initiative for Global Road Safety, that is big RS. So far, IndiaRap has assessed 24,000 kilometers of roads, opportunities to save thousands of lives identified, and thousands of engineers or the other professionals have been trained by us. Now, 24,000 kilometers of roads have been star rated. I'll just come in a few moments what is star rating. About 6,000 kilometers of Golden Quadrilateral Highway have been star rated. 3,700 engineers and other professionals have been trained, and there is a growing community of IRAP accredited supplier. Accredited supplier means after the training that you get imparted, you can be an accredited supplier of the International Road Assessment Program. These are all done keeping in view of the target 3 and 4 of the United Nations. What is target 3? By 2030, all new roads achieve technical standards for road users that take into account road safety to meet a 3-star rating or better. 3-star rating or better. All new roads should have that kind of facility. Now, what is actually the star rating? What is that we are doing? What is IndiaRap safety assessments? Now, star rating are based basically on road inspection data. Mind you, this is an objective assessment. There is no subjectivity involved here. It provides a simple and objective measure of the level of safety which is built into the road for vehicle occupants. 4 types. There are 4 types: vehicle occupants, motorcyclists, bicyclists, and pedestrians. All right. These are the predominant users. for any types of roads. 5-star roads are the safest, while 1-star roads are the least safe. You can assess, you can take up a project. Your director has already mentioned that you can take up a project and do some, piloting. You can associate it with IndiaRap. We are always, our doors are always open. Now, the safest roads, that is 4 and 5-star, have road safety attributes that are appropriate for the prevailing traffic speeds. This might include separation of opposing traffic by a wide median, pedestrian crossings, and sidewalks, forgiving roadsides, and safe intersections such as roundabouts. Here also it talks about roundabout. Now, how we can have some, I will give you some our case studies, how we have calculated or assessed the safety performance. Out of the 24,000 kilometers which I have mentioned, about 18,000 kilometers of national highway and state highways were assessed in India. And we have done some analysis. Out of this 18,000 odd kilometer, what is the prevailing scenario? And this is very, very, scary situation. We found 83% of the travel is only for 1 or 2 stars for pedestrians. Okay. 95% of roads where pedestrians are present and traffic flows at 40 kilometers an hour or more have no formal footpaths or sidewalks. So I cannot blame the pedestrians. They don't have the facilities for walking. 94% of roads where pedestrians cross and traffic flows at 40 kilometers an hour or more have no pedestrian crossing facilities. They can't cross lateral directions. And 57% of pedestrian crossings are poorly signed or maintained. Professor Farida called about delineation road marking. There are no road markings. People don't know. What about the bicyclist? We found that 80% of the travel is only for 1 and 2 star. No, now so far there is not even 3 star. And 99% of the roads have no motorcycle or bicycle lanes. Now, whether we should have a motorcycle lane, that is a debatable thing. We can discuss, and particularly whether at what type, what kind of motorcycle lanes, etc. That's thing. But there was missing, and you have 60 to 70% two-wheelers moving. A national highway passing on a peri-urban or urban roads is almost like a arterial roads of the big city. A national highway passing on the urban roads will become an arterial roads of the urban area after 10 years. But there is no facility. Regarding these are some of the, I have just given you some example of pedestrians and bicycles. I will not dwell upon the cars. We have found that 56% of the travel is only for 1 or 2 stars. Now, what is the use of all these things? Now, there are some treatments we have suggested, and we have also come out that how benefit cost ratio after investment of an X amount of rupees, what is the benefit cost ratio that we have got for 4 types of things we have done. One is the road side crash barrier. The other is intersection improvement. Simply you improve the intersections. Then road delineation. This is not at a very big cost that you have to incur. And pedestrian crossing. Simple thing. If we improve the road crash barrier, we have found that there was about 14,000 kilometers of road crash barrier. The fatal and seriously injured that could have been prevented was about 1,34,000 with a benefit cost ratio of 3.4. Similarly, for intersection, 2.4 benefits cost ratio. For road delineation, 8,700 kilometers of length, benefit cost ratio was as high as 11. And for pedestrian crossing, the benefit cost ratio was 2. So therefore, life-saving treatments, as I said, vaccines of roads, these are all available. If we could implement this thing, this would be as easy, for all the road users, and we could improve whatever we know that second decade of road action by the United Nations, that you should reduce your road fatalities, road deaths up to 50%. I do not know whether it will be possible. Nobody knows about it. But whatever little we could do to reduce it to any percentage is possible if you take this kind of countermeasure. Now I will end with a request that how the young students, we have a facility that we have discussed today morning, and if you are actually going through our website, IndiaRap website, that you could do, because your director has also said that you could take up a project. I also personally, I firmly believe that unless you do a project, whether it is a pilot project or any, sponsored project, sponsored by anybody, it will be difficult for you to, visualize what kind of problems that, we are actually experiencing. Now, in IndiaRap, I'm very happy to tell you that we provide no cost guidance. There is no cost involved from our side to students or anyone who wish to learn International Road Assessment Program safety assessment for academic or demonstration purpose. With this, we can help you to train and use any data. It requires a simple camera, video camera. You can use your mobile with GPS facilities and then collect the data as a pilot project, and then come to us, and we'll train you how to analyze the data and what sort of star rating it could be possible. Because this is done through a software called VIDA. VIDA in Spanish means life, which actually accounts for, it takes every 100 meter, it collects the data for any particular section of a road with 50 attributes, road attributes. So that is possible. So kindly, my request is that if many of you, I do not know, many of you may be interested, to train yourself, to acquaint yourself how to star rate, kindly contact us. And another idea is that since your director is present here, Professor Parida is my good old friend for so many years. IIT Roorkee can, we International Road Assessment Program had a lot of center of excellences internationally, worldwide. In India, we are looking forward to any educational institutes, research institutes, and I request IIT Roorkee to consider this proposal. If you can have a center of excellence, we can work with, in any manner. Your students, it's a BTech project, can be taken up jointly. MTech project for any sort of training. We have customized training for 3 days, 5 days, 4 days. We can work on that and do some sort of joint collaborative work. So that way, I would like to conclude. I think it was a bit lengthy, but since the topic is such that I could not restrict myself. So with that, my apologies for a lengthy talk. And I feel that this month-long program for your NSS IIT Roorkee will be a highly successful one. And for any time that you require our services, I have seen that Alvin, our colleague, will be also giving a talk sort of at some point of time. Anytime you want to, come to us, please feel free. We are always available. We work in a very close-knit group. We are 3 people in our IndiaRap as a part of International Road Assessment Program. And there are, IRAP has done 107 plus countries road assessment. So it is not like that. There are, country-based program, Brazil, Malaysia, you name it. There are a lot. So therefore, I invite IIT Roorkee and also NSS IIT Roorkee to come forward, and you can, anytime, you can always contact us for any sort of assistance and help. Thank you very much, and I wish you all the best. Good luck.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gangopadhyay, for sharing your experience and motivating us to work towards the cause. So, your information about road safety, your views on forgiving roads really make us think about the role of engineer in road safety. And your idea for vaccines in case of road safety made us aware to follow a coordinated approach and follow the pledge that we have taken for road safety. It was so informative for us to know about the star ratings of the road. Also, thank you so much for letting everyone know about the opportunity IndiaRap provides for the road assessment and the training program. Now, I request Professor Mukesh Barwa, Dean of Students Welfare, IIT Roorkee, to give the vote of thanks.
Well, thank you, Aditi. It's a pleasure to present vote of thank. Before thanking all the dignitaries, in fact, let me highlight some of the work which NSS has done. In fact, Dr. Gangopadhyay at IIT Roorkee, we have got 4 different sections. We have got Himalayan Exploration Club, Sports Council, Cultural section, and the 4th one is NSS. I am very happy to say that the most vibrant section is NSS. It has got 1,200 students, and they are involved in several social activities. As Professor Chaturvedi mentioned, BD blood donation camp used to be annual event, but for last 2 days we could not organize BDCs. But in second wave, our students did something called plasma donation camp. So around 300 students were COVID positive in second wave, and all over India, there were many people who were looking for plasma. So the NSS team came up with a platform wherein they brought together the plasma donor and donees. The other thing which NSS team did in second wave, and they are doing even now as well, the NSS team contacts the COVID positive patients every day, and they ask them questions like, did you take meal today? What is your temperature today? Do you require oximeter, or do you need thermometer, or and so on, right? And there are many people who are home quarantined. So students ask them, do you require any grocery item or something like that? So the role of the NSS team is still going on even during third wave as well. The other point I would like to talk about NSS is that they have got a flagship program. It's called National Social Summit. It's another NSS in NSS. So they are going to have a National Social Summit sometime in February this year. Recently, they organized cloth collection and distribution camp, wherein they collected cloths from different hostels, and they distributed in and around villages near IIT Roorkee. So NSS is doing lots of social services, and of course this road safety month, this is really a commendable task which NSS has taken. So in fact, towards the end, I would like to thank Dr. Gangopadhyay for sparing your valuable time. I thank Professor Chaturvedi, Director, IIT Roorkee, Professor Parida, Deputy Director, our faculty advisor, Professor Premlata Jaina, Associate Dean, Students Activity, Professor Gori Shetty, and I thank the students, volunteers of NSS, and all the attendees. So thank you everyone once again. Thank you so much. Over to Aditi.
Thank you so much, everyone, for your presence. Now we can end this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah.